Imagine living your life in constant fear, never knowing how or when you're going to be blamed for just being you. Your stomach's always in knots, you'll watch your every word, you'd give anything to be able to just relax. All you want to do is live in peace, but you can't seem to escape this toxic person. No, not because you're barricaded or in bondage, but simply because you were born. Now imagine that toxic person is your own mother. Well, hey, my friend, my name is Kris Reece, and I want to welcome you back to another edition of the Building Faith podcast, where it is my hope to bring you biblical solutions to life stuff challenges. And it's hard enough dealing with unsafe people in friendships and romantic partners, but what do you do when it's your own mother? If interactions with your own mother leave you scratching your head or pulling your hair out, it might be that mom is more toxic than you thought. So today, let's talk about 5 signs that God is showing you that your mother isn't safe. Number 1, she's defensive. A toxic mother's focus is all about her. Her needs, her wants, her desires. So when someone challenges her fragile ego, even with the slightest bit of criticism, you will get met with every excuse in the book, blaming everyone and everything, even you. Proverbs 12:15, however, tells us that the way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man listens to advice. Fools don't take accountability for their own behaviors, and they refuse to look at themselves as the source of any problem. So when you come to them with complaints, criticism, or correction, you will get met with an array of defensiveness that can display itself in either emotional outbursts or just other volatile behaviors, even considering stonewalling. Number 2, divisive. There's just something particularly evil about people who cause division. The motives behind it are selfish and destructive. And unsafe people will pit people against you many times in an effort to make you reliant upon them. And in the case of mothers, this can be displayed in a constant criticism of others, the pitting of siblings against each other, and then blaming you for not having a good relationship with them. To the extreme, but not uncommon, is to actually alienate you from another parent. But listen to what Titus 3:10 says. As for a person who stirs up division after warning him once and then twice, have nothing more to do with them. If the relationship is already damaged, you may find that she plays the victim, positioning you as the toxic daughter who just doesn't care about her mother. And number 3, deflective. Remember Wonder Woman and her famous wrist deflectors? A bullet would come flying at her and she would just raise up her arm and block it and send it in a completely different direction. Yeah, well, that's what unsafe people do. Except the problem is that every comment or question can be seen as a personal attack, and that's when they go into deflecting mode. Unsafe mothers are no different. Unsafe people who avoid their problems and take no personal accountability for their behaviors are destructive. Matthew 7:30 asks the vital question, why do you see the speck that is in your brother's eye, but you do not notice the log in your own eye? With a toxic mother, you will likely find the conversation going in 5 different directions with no resolution to any issues. She has no desire to focus on the log in her eye, but would much rather see the blame and the speck in your eye. And this type of behavior also makes for difficulty in connection. And since all the relationship relies on some level of intimacy, you may find a genuine connection lacking with an unsafe mother. Number 4, she's demanding. Unsafe mothers take the scripture, honor thy mother, to an insane degree. They believe, even if it's unspoken, that you are responsible for their happiness. You are responsible to pay them back for all they've done for you, even though as mothers, that's what we're supposed to do for our children. And after all that she's done to give you life, you owe her. And the truth is, God gave you life. And any loving mother is going to recognize what an incredible privilege it is to be used by God to carry one of his precious children. But unsafe mothers are demanding in their requests and controlling in their actions. They will often create a dependency to keep you within her control. And a common way is through financial support. And if this isn't possible, then guilt and manipulation are often the go-to method for getting what she wants from you. And number 5, she's demeaning. Many toxic mothers can't help but belittle their children, especially their daughters, because of the dissatisfaction with their own life. And they often disguise their constant critiques as love and care, but at the heart of it, it's an insatiable need to elevate themselves above everyone and everything, including you. And if you don't fit mom's mold, she's going to have something to say about it, and you better believe it likely won't be said in love. Now, before you get confused into thinking, yeah, but she just does it because she wants what's best for me, I want you to remember Galatians 5:22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, self-control. Against such things, there is no law. Those filled with the Spirit of God don't have to insult others to elevate themselves. And whether your mother is defensive, divisive, deflective, demanding, or demeaning, an unsafe mother will not follow the natural law of love through nurturing and support, but rather toxic mothering is one that is marked by selfishness disguised as sacrifice, control positioned as care, insensitivity marked by her complete lack of empathy. And if you're struggling with a toxic mother or anyone toxic in your life, I want to invite you to grab a copy of our free Toxic People Survival Guide to help you identify and deal with all of the toxic people in your life. We will go ahead and include a link in the description section below. I also want to note that this video is not meant to diagnose or point blame, especially on mothers. Mothering is the hardest job on the planet, and as a mother, I can attest to the fact that we all make mistakes. But mistakes and repeated patterns with no regard for correction are very different. Don't confuse the two. And if you believe that your mother has some of these traits and it's not safe speaking to her about it, may I suggest that you speak with a good Christian counselor who can help and who has understanding of toxic and possibly even narcissistic behaviors. And I have included a link to Faithful Counseling down below to help you find a counselor that works best for you. Faithful Counseling is a network of counselors all across the United States, and when you call, you're going to be paired with the best one for you. And if you use the link below, you will actually receive a 10% discount off of your first month's counseling. And if you would like help on healing from a toxic mother, I want to invite you to check out my Heal from a Toxic Mother course. It is designed to help you restore your life through faith. Or if you're saying, I need better boundaries to be able to handle myself around my mother, we have a new course that is launching. It is the Toxic Mother Survival Course. It is the Christian's Guide to dealing with your toxic mother biblically. And if you're curious on how a toxic Christian mother will try to manipulate you, go ahead and watch this video here for the 5 tactics.